thanking you. I want you to greet our people because today I think we are going to be moving ahead with the ideology of good governance and that of ideology of Biafra. And if not that, I would like you to help us to inundate us more.
Yeah, thank you, Buchi, and to our listeners, good morning to you. I came late today because I was just going about Onisha Metropolis, taking documentary of how wonderful our city had been beautified with mountainous refuse bin
Waste.
the waste on our road. I went to Ochanja roundabout. I went to New Market, New Cemetery. I went to Ado by Okosi Road. That's off Oka Road. I went to the one at Uguta Road by Ojeji Junction.
So
I went to that of Modebe. Everywhere that you have that refuse dump site, it is a horrible sight to behold.
what about Ochanja roundabout?
I went to that place, there by our headquarters.
Headquarters of
You know, I have been to that place before last year when someone notified me about it. I went there. In less than a day, they evacuated those waste bins. And I remember saying, what is the rationale behind keeping those waste material buckets at the center of the road? How can you place waste bin at the center of the road as important as Ochanja roundabout? If you go there, it is in a sorry state. It is a mess. And while coming to the station, I was asking myself, we have blamed the government. Yes, that is true, because they are irresponsible in terms of awareness creation and proper waste management. We blame the government. But while we are blaming the government and we are agitating for good governance, we are aspiring to have good governance in Igbo land. But how can we have good governance where you have irresponsible people? How can you have good governance when you have irresponsible people? People will say, it is the government now, it is not the people. But it is the people. Irresponsible people will always create an irresponsible governance. Why? Because we know, although some people will say, we didn't vote for them. But whether you voted or you shied away from voting, those that voted on your behalf. And whoever that emerges or whoever that sits in a strategic position, public office, is a product of the society, especially under democratic dispensation, because it is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Although what we are seeing now is government of the few, for themselves and for their political affiliates. But we are here, Good Governance Ministry, to change the narrative. While I was doing the documentary this morning, some of the people working at the refuse dump site told me that it is as a result of non-payment that they are on strike. That is why, especially on National North, that was what was mentioned. I'm just relaying to the public that National North did not pay them. That is why there is, in fact, it is in a sorry state, especially now we are going into rainy season. It's a mess.
But did you inquire from Onitsha North authorities whether that very information is truth, or they were just making
it up?
Yes.
Now, why would you see if I want to
no, the idea of them being on strike, they are not being paid.
That's what I'm telling you. For the fact that that refuse bin, all of the refuse bin dump site are under sorry state. They are not being evacuated. It's a trigger to tell you that this is true. And again, for the fact that that refuse bin remained there. That is to tell you, because if you pay somebody to do a work and the person did not do it, you will have the right to drag the person either to court or face the music. Amami otibe neku. Onwere ka government, local government ga-esu wee kwụọ ụgwọ ka evacuate those things. Man, ọ bụrụ na emeri evacuate for agbachi nkịtị 1 week, 2 weeks. That shows that truly onwe ebe mmiri si wee bado opi ụgbọgọrọ. That there is truth in what I was told. I'm telling you what I was told. We've not confirmed yet whether they have not been paid and they are on strike. Then on the other hand, while we are blaming the government people, I asked the people themselves, mmadụ one n'ime unu na-akwụkwọ ụgwọ your sanitation, your environmental sanitation.
Were they supposed to pay for that?
Mgbe a na-akwụ n'ụgwọ environmental sanitation, ndị afia especially.
I mean, were they supposed to pay for that according to constitution? Since they are paying tax, are they supposed to pay for the refuse?
It has ịma abịa n'obodo a, I think na-enwe iwu just like people na-akwụkwa property rate, all of these things. Enwe ịma na ọ bụrụ in a system where your tax is, you know, inclusive, all inclusive, na ekwuru ana one tax, or take go care of every other thing. Mana these days na bani, ịma na na-enye out this contract to people, whereas government na collect abịa na like ndị na-azụ afịa na street, a na-akwụ ụgwọ environmental sanitation, a na-akwụ ụgwọ ya yearly, and ndị afịa na-akwụkwọ ụgwọ ya. The truth abro, the problem abro na akwụrụ ụgwọ ya with the problem. People are not complain about ego never na akwụ. No na akwụsị ya na adị ekpopu ahịa.
But won't that amount to multi-taxation, which is indirectly corruption?
Of course.
Multiple taxation.
Now, oya ka oya wapụta, this government na-abata, a redefine taxation. And when a format where when you pay one tax, it covers all. As long as you are doing business and you are working in Anambra State and Igbo land as a whole. Because although you take your own part, your government then that is where we have grounds to hit them so hard. Mana the problem we go do no bodabo. Aside, our attitude is very bad, both from the people in government and the general public. If I ain't at this program every day, now go take time and all these things. But if a government government is responsible. It is their responsibility to inform the people. And when Ministry or Commissioner for Information, what are they informing the people? Information abroad just you threw out order. You threw out in fact what they are glorified praise singers of government and power. But more of their responsibility is to educate, to inform the people about what is expected of them, to educate the people, to inform them, to give them a better orientation on how to do things, to sensitize the public. Or if a government, and they hope to pay, when they took a government appointment, no, they are dormant, they can't inform the people. For instance, I am a Kobudundi also, mepesi, and manage their waste material. Why in Kai get you a DJ? Even while growing up, so while growing up in the 80s and the 90s, onwelu moto na-ekpofu every Saturday moto a na-aga ọ na-akụ bell ndị mmadụ na-ebupụta ọkwa nke a na-aga nke ọzọ a na-aga onwero ka ihe afụ afia the displayed or this spill over everywhere. And what key is worth here na buy? I want to ebe a na-eje enwe dump site. And dump site ha na roadside. For instance, someone can decide, I remember na akụkụ court na that Enugu road. Oh my god, ebe a eje ebe a keta amazi mo car wash ka na ebe a kpọ elego ebe a mmadụ egolugo ebe or something. Mana ebe a alụrụ ya na ebe a na-awụfu ahịfịa. All the off the road. Onwere ya gbasara ya n'ụzọ. Probably, but at that time, government whooped the government allow your former. That's allow the dump site of former.
Yes, those in
a man no dump site the year and on the main road. Obuli puta ibulu bucket, I fear get over the main road. Mbo for the dobia na akube mmadụ. Some of these dump sites I record today. No nisi window be mmadụ. You can imagine. Obo no gwa bi ebe ahụ. How can you? In fact, guy looking Juba government akwụkwọ. All the horrible. It is inhuman. It is a crime to those people living around there. It's a health hazard. So, among the rationale behind Ibulu buckets for refuse bin. Now, Dobia na main road. All those places in Gwagefa, I feel now I cover go the entire main road. Everybody all these things. Now, a day kuzi okunde na woni ife na gota. He just say keta ebele milizo just they go to the whole city. Bato. All those things were responsibility, but from the people and also from the government. You cannot have good governance with irresponsible people. So, even in a while we are talking to the government and people serving us in public offices, we also talk to ourselves. Even all the good to blame other people, but we don't look our own way to blame ourselves, to look at ourselves and see what we are doing wrong. So, what we are doing on this platform, Good Governance Ministry, is to strike a balance so that we have a healthy and prosperous society. If you get like this morning, you got on my boots, now my car trunk now. All the way wrapped on waste bag. And from my own house, from my house, like all these plastic bottles, you got a bottle water, you got a plastic mineral, you got a plastic all those disposable material na got also everywhere. Now, about that na ndị be anyị ga-ebido because ihe abụ nkuzi state government kwesịrị na-akụziri ndị obodo fa niile dị iche iche. Mana ọ ka anyị na-eme ebe a. Ọ bụrụ that na ịbịa from your own home, ebido the waste management from inside your house. Isicha ife na kitchen, ihe ọ bụla isipụta na kitchen, all those decomposable material, itinye one side, a wrap ọnya na waste bag. All those ones, but plastic, those ones that cannot decompose, ikechie na tinye na another side. Ibulie imagine, ijebe a ekwesi imagine, drop ya monde ga abia bulie in a clean way. Mana nke ọ na-abụ mmadụ kpoo igide ife, one ekponye ife na bucket. Okpolo ife, one ekponye na bucket. Okpolo bucket ahụ, osi otu a je rufuo nya na main road ebe a adoba plastic, that's the waste bucket. How osi otu a open disposal of this waste, but one of the biggest problem I know because mmiri beko ochekọlọkwa ya obanyekwa na gota ebeni na nasuchi ebeni na nesi one breed mosquito ota gị enwebe malaria. Wonderful hospitals anyway, they take care of you. If you got
malaria or even typhoid, which is caused typhoid is caused by dirty water and unclean environment, food as well. And we as well are the people throwing it away. We can only blame people. Somebody will say, even on it is so dirty, anything, people do things anyhow. But he or she is doing things anyhow as well. Why are we blaming ourselves without doing something? How did we go wrong? Where do we go from here? Because I witnessed it, but I think people that were born, let me say, last 10 years or last 20 years, didn't witness what I witnessed. I witnessed where they don't put waste on the road. I lived around 10 good years of my life. I never saw waste at Oka Road, Mpo Junction. But when we are disposing waste,
of course, that was when we had proper management
as
of
a
waste.
6-year-old boy, I knew where they disposed the waste we had at home.
Of course now. Okay, I'm the age ball less. You
understand? Yes.
And when the year bag, I found a plastic bag.
You carry it on your head.
I believe you see, just like the old format. I knew Kuba Nemebu. You do runye. Mana ebo ni ne runye. On are properly disposed at that time. That was a better way to dispose this, like it in a plastic bag or easy for the pick it up. Now,
are people becoming lazy?
No, the government is becoming more irresponsible.
I'm not talking about government now. I'm talking about the people now. Because then, perhaps government, we are a little bit responsible. But I know my mother would refuse me from dumping refuse in the gutter.
But in fact,
but mothers are sending their kids to put it in the gutter.
Neighborhood watch then was up, and the morality of people can on check. People can wear can wear pato. You have something. Their conscience and they prick.
Even maybe this conscience.
Let me tell you, I take it back to the system. In a system where you have no consequence for doing nothing. In fact, in a system where good people are punished, it encourages impunity. It encourages people to continue doing bad. You want to go? So now, in Anya, as at that time, in our woof, I pen a gota. Get me the river. Bongoja, in the daytime, you be like ya, get the Lunia gota, or do not possible. Malaketa, and then mother now buy another. Even the father has Zafia. Father has funny pony. I will never let tomato. Idiot, I got that in our queba, tomato you. I will never let pure water. Idiot, now queba, I will pure water you. Or will it just go around the market. All the same people are. These are the things I need on the part of the people. Man, even at the part of the government. All those things will not be in check. In some places, I be jello. I be here no one. Itupo, in more pure water to pure na main road. You know, not so. You want to go? Man, nobody know any consequence for doing or breaking the law. So everybody and make us West here. So even in a while we are blaming the government, we also working on the people. Because you can't have good governance with irresponsible people. Man, again, it's a balanced system, in good leadership, then good followership. That is where you have a better system. I know can I challenge one bar for better? Because when they say or make a gap in between the line, I mean, government think can happen in apple. Maybe on our courses on our pataze na even in the Jew this year ka obodo na enwere onye nche.
But in the last 16 years, waste management in Anambra has been nothing to write home about. You know why? Some persons are rumoring or they're making some claim maybe where there is vacuum, people will fill it with whatever they have, sometimes negativity.
Yeah.
Some persons are claiming that government is responsible, perhaps they sold it off to the highest bidder. And because you sold it to the highest bidder, the person will tell you, I have to recuperate. And you have no moral justification to sanction the person because you know you are selling to your cronies that has nothing to offer. You understand? So how do we hold government to accountable? Because Charlie, one of us you may allude, that is Charles Soludo, who is the incoming governor that will be sworn in on March 17th.
On Thursday.
On Thursday. Don't you think he may have had these baggages in the sense of godfathers or cronies because he was elected in the same system?
All right, now,
do you think they won't be pressuring him to give us this contract?
All right, that is exactly.
And if he's giving that, don't you think people will continue in the same way managing our waste?
That is exactly why when we started this program we said on we benchmark anyị ji wee na-enyocha ndị na-apụta ịdọ ndọrọ ọchịchị. Ọ na-abacha ịnụ nwaanyị ije jụọ ese mana achọzi ịtụ election ịda ajụ ese onye chọrọ ịbịa take a decision that will affect you. You don't want to. No. Onye ma ibe ji emebi. Onye ka good governance bata na-eme. Mgbe anyị na-ekwu okwu onye ga-abanye n'ọkwa ọchịchị na ọ ga-abụ onye nwere that character and political will to do the right thing. And the ka isi wee gbakọcha everything niile agbakọcha na nkụzi niile ekụziri ndị mmadụ na this program o mepee ndị mmadụ anya mepee ndị mmadụ akọ na uche adetuo online pool ogosi na chale nwamba afọ bụ the onye fit kalicha in n'ife gbasalụ the appraisal rating ịmalụ ka ụdị mmadụ onye abụ ọ bụ onye ga-ekwu ife na-eme ọzọ ka ọ bụ onye ya bụ ọbata o make that needed change ga-emetụ life of the people positively. Now we've seen his body language, we've seen his spoken, we've had his spoken words. Now it is now left for the action to take place, beginning when he gets into office. But from the things Okugoleku, Nandinke on the Megodeme, the body language, if you know only be ready, only the njikere, Iba, Meivo Peseleme, Nabriji, Ndi Mama Dishino, the Abonwe land. For instance, like you mentioned, ikwu okwu ndị a na-enye slot ndị ụka bịafe nwere slot ndị a ga-enye appointment
maka na ndị ụka nye vote
ndị political party ndị olonfa stakeholders nwere slot the outgoing governor nwekwuru slot ewatibe na-ekwu ndị igwe enwekwuru slot maba ya slot cha fa slot cha anyị
slot agụ
anyị abụrụzia echeta ebebe now the way o si wee tinye ọ bụrụ na ichie serve Anambra steeti na gị jee na igwe ịntanetị ba na talent hunt jee denye aba gị wee ebe ị chọrọ ime ka e wee bido ebe a wee nyochaba efu na ọ bụ ozi ọ pụgo n'aka ndị slot maka ndị na-abịa maka slot de na-ekwukwa okwu ndị na-abịa analụ kọntrakt ịnụ mgbe ọ na-ekwu na ndị na-emepe windo for revenue whatever na bagwakwaba na n'ọkwa na n'abalị 16th of March ka ibe na-aba niile ga-eme gịnị ga-eme expire
onye nke na-akọrọkwa mme expire
ọ si na ọ ga-eji executive order terminate every one of them.
Can they sue him?
You cannot sue him.
No,
if
sue the Anambra state government.
Listen, you cannot sue them when you are irresponsible and when it is done illegally. Most of them are done illegally.
Wow.
Yes, that is the truth.
So
does
that mean the government does illegal?
Of course, now, of course. Let me tell you, what is the essence of having giving out contract to get revenue? In a contract on how to raise revenue. That is to tell you that the government system have failed. You have failed as a government.
So the government should be held responsible.
That is what I'm saying. Now, the biggest turnaround to it is to have a responsible person manning the government. And oya ko ju ebido na genwa bo onye na-ege anyị ntị ekwu okwu election egba mbọ pụta na-ege ibe good governance na-eme na-ene anya ebe anyị na-atụ aka maka anyị na-enyocha anyị na-enyocha before anyị asị ka anyị jee this way.
Okay, in 2 minutes, I would like us to do this in 2 minutes. Once it is 11:40, we open the phone line. Please, in 1 minute, I would like you to respond because government should be responsible. When we're talking about local government, they say every politics is local. And we've left local government system at the detriment of cronies. That's what I'm going to say, because they should be elected according to the constitution. Of course. And for like 16 years now, there was no election. There hasn't been an election in Anambra State. How do you think that Soludo can do the grassroots development without the grassroots people? Local government chairman.
I conduct local government election.
Wouldn't that have baggages like a crisis?
Crisis, vote. Vote. I ga-eme vote. Ke crisis dị na ndị mmadụ epụtasị na onye ga-anọchite anya n'okpuru ọchịchị local government.
They will tell him our party is going to lose because if you give people a chance.
Ọ bụrụ na ime ife kwesịrị ime, ife kwesịrị ime, your party will win. That is the simple thing. Government abụrụ give away. Even local government chairman abụrụ give away, my brother.
So Abga will not be dominating Anambra again.
You don't need to worry yourself about who wins or who did not win.
The party men are worried.
But you will be worried because you have failed. If you have failed as a state government, the people will vote against you at the local government level. Now, to be honest with you, the hope of Ndi Igbo, not just Anambra State, is resting on his shoulders.
So what should he do?
He should deliver on his mandate. Those manifesto, which is part and wholesomely what good governance ministry is preaching and advocating for. And we will ensure he delivers on them. And his commitment to that will open up more people to believe in the leadership under him, under Apuga. And when they conduct local government elections, I will want people to come out en masse
and
vote. Vote onye ma that na no bu onu. On ari oku no obi. If na ife de mma no bu onu. That is how government come closer to you. So that onye abata bu no we ife na adiro ma na eme. Oje enwe government meeting, local government chairman meeting with the state government. If that na no quite a reflection of the desire of the people. Kaga dey table kwa na table. Mana bu na nke local government appointees ndị enye give away as local government chairman or caretaker committees. My dear, things ga na-emebi n'obodo a. And to put a stop to that, it starts with good governance and responsible governance.
Okay, and thank you. Remember, you are on to Good Governance Ministry. It is coming to you from Odenimo 99.1 FM. It is sponsored by BVI Channel 1. BVI Channel 1 is published by Mr. Chinedu Asozu Peters. He's a grassroots mobilizer and human rights activist. He's been talking about the waste management, the carelessness of government when it comes to waste management in Anambra. He has gone through the length and breadth of Onitsha, where he was born and raised. He has traveled to London and lived there, traveled to Wales and rest of them, and traveled to UK and saw things that are good. He has now come back to home to make home better, because they say east to west, north and south, home is the best. So I would like you to talk to the topic of the day. Please do not deviate. Remember, you can call us on 07038155515. Just 1 minute each person. Tell us your name, turn down the volume on your radio set, and talk to the topic. Because I get my kunu kwebe wasa topic. Kejena kwe force. If I ne kudu mile abjago waste juebe ni ne manke government in a men ada bara manke ayi wabunde mada na abro government in a me ndi na no no chichi. Kedu to gesi we me wa manage. Ani mana soludo ga abata na 17th of March. Ibe niile na-agazi n'ebe ọ nọ na ọ bụ onye mezaya, onye ga-azọ, onye ndu ga-eme ka obodo dị mma, na ọ ga-ebido from ebe ndị nke ọzọ kwụsị wa gaba. Anyị na-ekenekwa Kpoko Dike bụ gọvanọ Obianọ, onye nke ga-apụ apụ na 17, na-asị ebe ọ kwụsị ka Soludo mee karịa. Kedu ma ife unu nwere ike ikwu gbasara waste management ajụ n'ụzọ? O juru Ọchanja, o juru Ọkalụrụ, o juru ife dịka Okosu, o juru ebe niile apart from Ọnịcha, o jukwa mana Mkpọ ebe a na Obosi ebe a nụ anyị nọ, o juru side ebe one chọọchị dị n'akụkụ Obosi road. Ị ga-ama chọọchị a, ọ dị ka seven Adventist, Seven Day Adventist. Ife ndị ma na-ekposa ebe a dịrọ mma. O nwekwa ụfọdụ dị na Boromi Junction, o nwekwa nke dị na side ebe People's Club. Ife dị na ọ dịrọ mma. Kedu ndị ife anyị ga-eme? Hello? Hello? Good morning. No, oh?
I'm a get a good
I know.
put on that studio. I can't do no. What's going to go there from a ball?
Dalo.
Only one waka. Now, even if I have to get a fair, and then you want to learn that so good. Because I had a government attacker. I can't remember. In which state now? That was in which state? The Roland Ramos. None of us. So, someone not a banana. Was a boss. What to put banana on a talo. When they ask particular what I went I and I knew market. A block over time. We see all the passengers. We let's have banana for the melons. How they would like to make an office? Who put a woman? Saduma got 10,000. See the other came. The job that I gave us, get the basket. Okay, basket. We go see it. I got the free. You get it now. You get it for 5,000. And that's what that thing. Okay, baby, and this number of government. This serious. Then I said this serious. Okay, I'm going to say our brother got a solution. And I'm in that my two go off, and that fair you do create also the call. Okay, for you to. And I'm belonging to Miss Cordy. Almost Cordy. You have to turn the tail up, pack and what they have them of fruits. You have to turn the look at me and just say, this is a first time make us noble, say, multiply. And no out of Africa, and I'm better to. Because we don't make it known. So, I had them. Governor can have one up, after I we will go to one of Advert. I had them. Because I can have one more, and see off more.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Chief Asu.
Dalo one Ganilu, eh?
When you know who is there, who could all attend to know, yes, my one apple.
No one.
I can go to Gimakana. I'm going to give you good governance. They say, now, mother, my forget, like if you give an studio kita. I got here, who got here by Hadi. I'm going to forget like who I got who got here every night in Palapa. Come on, I'm on a Yabu or the Zuribo. No, don't worry about I want to beat your quest.
Settle Kawada, we may send the Alania.
No problem, I can hear. So, the young Kubuna, like you said, I go to my primary school on the early age. Oh, well, I discriminate, I got to get here, like it. Obuni on the Jigga member and see from Oda Bumapeg and Azong Street. Eban Ewo Talamba, I ever come and Azong. Then, this is around 83, 84, 85. The video moto. With another improvement moto every Sunday, like you said, when you keep my pocket and okay, you open everybody with you. All other such and they tell you, my car, I don't know what I can tell you. I want to tell you, so now, if you don't go this, now even can the mother, Malo, no, the mother and I in carbon number one, number two, on the government, the Bukai, Farmer on I have a poison cobble. I want to tell you now, all you have to do with that, why you are Cosia. So now, I don't know about your one bar for Soludo, now by the grace of God, that we use the well. Now, Rural Galaga, happy lie. Like my ear battle, IGR, my ear battle refused evacuation. People who they will a follow up. People they follow up, no, he may the government. Like you want your kid, only a pro who pass to say, Nanen, we are married to believe banana and 5,000. What your keep India, okay, can the master. So I told Robona to Ludo Bata. Can make a policy gas, Amadi the gas, I get you a wall. I'm not like him when you can say, I have a good governance. Open my office, you know, that they can make up. The man I was in there, did you all that now I can put out here. But I don't want to take to Yama, or I got my dollar because you know.
No, then about 99.1 FM Good Governance Ministry. Hello? Hello? If you call us, please, I would like to listen to you. Oh, thank you. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning. Where are you calling from?
Thank you, my brother.
Good morning.
Good morning, one Ganiro.
I was in a talk on a program. I saw
No, oh.
I believe we enjoy advice more contribution. I don't major was one bar for the data. Because I'm on with create. Here the I got a police on a government house. They create here the money information before we are there. I want to after that, I put my investigation. So go by create. I get information because a lot of things and the mother we trust one on ever, trust one on ever. No what the content you create. If I get information in here or do this you with them, they are carrying on, they are the carrier. I am not on your time and the situation in your role or a yaka. So I don't want to wear the high because even on your mother, also you get a police station get a report on where on your hand for your with you. Put it to see ya. It's in for your doctor. You want to try. The hell was you gonna go on your drop when I'm a ball? So they will get create your search. Then I was the keep you. As a woman, Ozama, I make up and never buy an all these things I got good news of the little we also. For the Katai and I put Kalima for now. We are now who's the next we are born or what does this up with your born at you? What are put to this? We are not put Kalima for or no, I don't go and or to guess if you have not bring Kenya. Say the truth. Let the shape of the Kielabus.
I gonna abandon in making sure that now I do part of like you mentioned about information about gonna drop information
and trustworthy.
Yeah, one problem when they or chichi they disconnect themselves from the people after the election.
Why?
They want to go. For instance, can I be going with Obiano since the 8 years on Chichi, in a program on interactive program on our only
ABS at his disposal, both Hanoma online, Hanoma na TV, Hanoma na radio, and the band will pump ego every month. Now that's ready. Oh well, putelu news at least once in a week or once in a month to interact with Indian Anambra State.
What about town hall meetings?
Oh no, only see na China State. Question pota. Oh no, na radio. I'm the mother malugo na bode to na hana governor ba yam alitoka. Onye bia ona oneku ko su edelefa na side ba. So that all go on when ebe okwudebere ụgwọ ka ejedozie mana enwere ife eme onweta information adị ifu na ọ ga-enyere aka ime ka gọọmenti marụ ife na-eme n'obodo na ndị ọ na-achị then ndị ọ na-achị enwe ntụkwasị obi nwee connection with their government nwee that commitment na how can part of this government because onufa a na-anụ ya now chalenwa mba afọ na-abata anyị ga na-akpọ gị afa unfortunately good governance anọrọ in full force. Good governance ministry anọrọ in full force mgbe ndị a na-abata mgbe aka nọ na London na nkịta anyị nọ here anyị ekwechirigo ọrụ ndị be anyị niile ka bapụta chechapụ anya gị shine your eyes and put on making sure that na enwere good governance around you then onye nke ọzọ ọnụ ọ bụrụ na ọ nwere ife na-eme na your area na-ada aga ọfụma kịta bụ the world of internet and the gadgets. Onye ọbụla bụzi press na-akpagharị were fọdụ gị setela anyị ya anyị soro gị egwu atụgburu anyị na ikwuo emeghị gụọ mana setela anyị esetelụ fọwọdụ ọla anyị na nọmba anyị ga-enye n'ebe anụnwa bifo anyị emecha nọmba good governance ministry itinyela anyị na WhatsApp just otu nkeji adịgo enough esi anyị na-ekwu ife na-eme ebe a na-ekwu ife na-eme ebe a ọ na-agazikwa ọfụma ebe a anyị ga-ewepụta ya n'anwụ and the gọọmenti ga-etinye aka na ya
na-ekwu gọọmenti itinye aka ọkwa mụ na gị ka ọ dịrị dị n'ime 99.1 FM dọta n'oge nọ n'ime bụ oge a na-akpọ Good Governance Ministry nke ndị na-sponsor ya bụ BVI Channel 1 is a media blog and they talk about grassroots development. The publisher is Mr. Chinedu Asozu Peters, who talks about how it's going to be better for you and me and every other person in Igbo land, Anambra State, and Africa in general. I'm thanking everybody for being here. Remember, you can be part of this very program. Hello? Good morning, welcome. Ganiru.
Dalo.
Before you know it, many boys, they say that create jobs. Many boys in Buto, one of my friends go there and make 500,000 naira before 1 year. They come down here and collect up to 5 boys and go there. They may be an Anambra State. How on them that even that Korak and don't need to stop on them man. They got hence they go like many boys will go and get that.
Oh, make sense.
And make every place to be neat.
Hello?
Another place in there.
I don't divine you.
Makachari one bathroom. Then I any family no can keep it okay. You win a hand election now. And they receive what they say, it creates a awareness to you for us to our government. One day, we will have the fear and regulation. Scale all these people are willing to learn a home, they get a hammer of a guy who now.
No.
They go to any place who on the media. Every month, now put on the media, now from the masses, not only from the commissioners.
Okay.
Not from the masses. What is the problem of the masses?
Exactly.
We want better more than other ones. Thank you.
Nke Port Harcourt adọs nchekwa obele gbasara nke Port Harcourt ịmara Port Harcourt ji ego nke bụ eziokwu the kind of way people nọ na Port Harcourt si enweta ego na Anambra bụrụ nke a bụ nke bụ eziokwu so an average person nọ na Anambra can they afford 100 naira for waste? That is by the way. Then talk about how do we even recycle waste?
Now, all you can do, man, maybe next program I etinye ọnụ. Only be good from inside the house, individual, the way you manage your waste. ịpụta na-separate here ndị recyclable eje na my house enwere m recyclable bags materials ebe na-etinye plastic bottles. Get out the days of bottles, plastic, mineral dị na plastic, pure water dị na plastic, everything plastic. Onye nwụcha ọtụe eje na gota everywhere kpochie. Now the proper way about that na enwe a separation of these things or did it easier. Imalebe ya be ndị na recycle these things or easier to evacuate. Even they can come in and even pick these things for free because when they recycle it, it is money for them. And the atụmatụ onye nke a wetakwa esena na ndị mmadụ enwekwala ego 100 naira iji wee wufu ahịfịa. To be honest with you, it's not heartbreaking because ije kuzie ibe na-agala ọnụ these days that one thing to okwa akwa is almost one akpakata is almost 100 naira. Mana ihe adeta mana ime nwe 100 naira ya we nye ka we dispose of you and it will create job just like he said it all look a na-atụ. The problem a ga-enwe na bụ ụfọdụ chọọ bypass that 100 naira be je weli adunye na gota ka ọ ga ije mmadụ 100 naira. Now let me tell you, ọ bụ na gọọmenti mee iwu na ebe ọ bụ na apụtara na fu ebe akpochiri anyị na gota na that building not within that axis and reduce will be fined seriously. By the time I pull that fine once for ya how you able touch over there by vacation and mother
we are winding down. I would like you to give number to people who want to get contact.
Okay. Ndị chọrọ isonye anyị ama na ọnụ ọna na-ege anyị ntị chọrọ iso akpọ mitin ndị mmadụ agha apụtadịrị na ya chukwu dị na akpụkọ oche na-eme mitin. Ibe ị ga-eme bụ bụrụ anya n'afụ for good governance n'ogbe ebe ibi. Bụrụ ọnụ na-ekwu for good governance n'ogbe ebe ibi. Ị na-eme omume ebe anyị na-preach ebe a because what we preach is what we do. Now, ọ bụrụ that na ama na egwu na-atụ ụfọdụ ndị iwepụta onwe fa na-ekwu wepụtala anyị